What if I could show you an investment that is less risky than a GIC, will perform quite well over time, can be completely deferred from tax, will never go down, and can be passed along to your children completely tax-free? You'd be like, yeah, right, Kent, that's way too good to be true. That sounds way too good to be true, but it isn't. It is, however, only good for a specific segment of the population, and in my opinion, you have to fall into one of these three groups of people in order to even consider doing this. First is a high income earner that is going to continue to earn a high income that has exhausted all of their registered investment options. Second is a business owner that has some extra money inside of their business and they want to find a tax efficient way to invest it. Fun fact about this is that this will actually avoid the stupid new rules that the government is proposing to change for small business owners. And third is for retirees who have set themselves up so well for retirement that they actually have too much money and they want to leave some money to their children when they pass away. So you're still asking me what the catch is. And the catch to this is that you can invest however much or however little into this account as you want, but you have to choose a specific amount and continue to fund that exact same amount for a specific number of years. Otherwise, if you want to get your investment, you'll lose out on the principal in the early years, which usually takes close to 20 years. So today I'm going to focus on my absolute favorite use for this strategy, which is for a retired couple that has done well for themselves that wants to pass some money on to their children tax-free. Or maybe they're going to have a large tax bill upon death because, say, they have a cottage in the family that's grown in value, which is always a huge issue of contention once estate time comes around. So in my example, I've talked to a 60-year-old couple and they're really set up for retirement. They have a whole bunch of assets and they can easily fund what they want in retirement, and they're going to have some extra money that they need to decide what to do with every year. Now, in most cases, that couple would maybe invest in a non-registered account or in some real estate, and both of those investments are either taxable as they grow or taxable when they sell for a profit or a gain. So I've looked at their numbers and I said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to invest $10,000 a year into this account for the remainder of your life with the intention of passing this money on to your children completely tax-free. Now let's take a look at the numbers. They started at 60 years old. They invest $10,000 a year. If the second spouse passes away at 70 years old, the tax-free benefit to the estate is $305,000, a return of over 19% on that investment. The likelihood of them both passing away that early is pretty low. So let's look at the second spouse passes away at 80. They've invested $200,000. Now that account that's passing on to their children is $474,000. If the second spouse lives till 90, they've invested $300,000 into this account and they're passing on $713,500 to their children completely tax-free. That's a 5.12% rate of return after tax, which is awesome. So you guys are all still saying, well, why doesn't everybody do this? Everybody should do this. This sounds absolutely awesome. But there is an actual catch, and the catch is that this is a life insurance product, and most people absolutely hate insurance. So you have to wrap your head around the idea that you would be investing inside of a life insurance policy to achieve this goal. The other issue is that you actually have to be insurable. So if you're not insurable, you can't do this. If you're not in good health, maybe you're going to be rated, it's not going to make as much sense. I would also like to point out that those rates of return are absolutely not guaranteed, but based on the dividends that they are paying today, which fluctuate every year. They could go up or they could go down, but they always have paid since these policies started, which is why I'm saying it can never go down. Another huge plus to doing this, except it doesn't really matter in Alberta because the probate fee is only $400, even though they could change that whenever they want, but you can allocate this to be paid to the beneficiaries of your choice outside of your estate. Therefore, that $713,000 isn't made up as part of your estate, so they're not going to take the probate tax on that $713,000. Now, as I said before, this is not for everybody. You really have to be careful to make sure that you can continue to fund this account. Otherwise, you will actually lose money, which I've seen backfire for too many people too many times. Not on my own opinion, but on others. But if you would like to see if this would make sense as part of your retirement plan or part of your estate plan and want to learn more, please feel free to email me at info@k4financial.ca, and please share this with anybody who you know might have a little bit extra money in retirement or is going to have a huge tax bill upon death. Thank you very much.